A to the K.
To the K.
To the K. Hello and welcome to the A to the K Wrestling Show. As always, we are Carl and Anthony. And as always, we're going to kick things off by throwing it over to Road Dogg for A to the K's little known fact of the week.
Oh, you didn't know?
Beautiful. Now, as we know, the WWE and Universal titles were just unified at WrestleMania. But Anthony, did you know? This now means that the WWE title has had 10 alternate names since its induction in 1963. It's been called 10 different things.
For reals?
For reals. Now, on the one hand, you might think that's a lot. On the other hand, you're like, well, WWE changes what they call it every week, so it's not even that much. But let me take you on a trip down memory lane. So, it obviously first came into existence as the WWF World Heavyweight Championship after they Capital Wrestling and kind of became WWF and left the NWA and all that jazz. When they rejoined the National Wrestling Alliance, they renamed it to the WWF Heavyweight Championship. They got the world out in that one. Then the third one, they rebranded obviously to the WWF, so it became the WWF Heavyweight Championship. The fourth one, the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. They just can't decide. Got the world back in.
Added world back in. Nice.
Get the world back in for that one. Then for the fifth name change, they just got really lazy with it. Just called it the WWF Championship. No worlds, no heavyweights.
Yeah.
You know,
Makes
streamline
sense.
it. Then obviously Jericho, won both
Unified
titles.
big gold,
That's it.
yeah.
He unified it. And the sixth name therefore became the undisputed WWF Championship in 2001. It then went to the WWE Championship when they became
Then they got
WWE.
the F out right there, yeah.
They did. The eighth one was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Hey, it's back.
Yeah. The ninth one, so after a brief stint of being renamed back to the WWE Championship, it was renamed to the WWE World Championship. So we got the heavyweight out on that one. And then here we are today, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
This one's the most surprising for me. This has been like a mechanism to take the prestige of the WWE Championship and stick with the stupidness of the Universal Champion. I don't like it. I don't like it one little bit, Carl.
I mean, part of me hopes they're going to see sense and realise that just because they unified the titles doesn't mean they actually have to unify the belts, and Roman just carries two as separate ones or something. I think they might end up dropping that as like a... they probably used it as a strapline for Mania, didn't they? Like, it's going to be a unification bout, but really he's just got both, and someone's going to get one off him or something. But we will see. We
shall see.
But yeah, that was another fun-filled fact from A to the K, and this is Road Dogg to sing us out of the segment.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh yeah. Let's do it then, shall we? Obviously the
Okay.
new and improved this week in wrestling. The new format and all. It's going down a storm. Everyone loves it.
Yeah. So good, in fact. We're charting again. Yeah.
That's it. Exactly. And speaking of charting again, I don't know how this works. But bad segues, that's what we're all about. But let's talk about the Cody Sitch.
Cody Sitch.
He's back. Of course he is. And after his very impassioned promo last week, he then gets a match with The Miz, which is almost like a rite of passage, isn't it? For someone
Hold on. He didn't just get a match with The Miz, though, did he?
Oh, no. Well, after the, 15, 20-minute segment of Miz TV.
17 minutes that clocked in. Actually, 17 minutes of Cody before any sort of match. I'm confident, Carl. I'm confident he got close to taking nearly 3/4 of an hour of Raw to himself.
I think he did, to be fair. And, half an hour of that was just as pyro. So, that's just ridiculous.
I said this to you.
Go on. No, go on.
I was going to say, I said this to you the other day, but I always said, I think WWE would be a good thing for Cody because they'll rein him in. It'll have to be more controlled. He won't just be able to, monopolize time to just do promos. And I'm not jumping on let's be negative about Cody training. There's loads of people doing that. I'm really looking forward to the story he's about to tell in WWE. But just calm it down. We don't need 17 minutes of nonsense. Just get to the fucking match.
Indeed. I also don't know what's happened here, but for some reason, it's like auto-played through all the slides. Little YouTube
Oh,
Easter
that's
egg for you
class.
there. Easter's coming up. We meant it. It was an Easter egg. So we're back. We're back looking at Cody's beautiful face.
Do you like spoilers?
So yeah, they didn't rein him in. Didn't rein him in at all, did they?
Not even slightly.
So I mean, they managed to ditch the Cody Vader and replaced it with like a ridiculous amount of pyro. But yeah, in fairness,
I love the Cody Vader. That's like my new favorite time.
But yeah, I don't know. The whole thing with the Miz and that was fine, I guess. I thought it was funny the way the Miz was correcting him on like all the things he was saying that he's not allowed to say.
Yeah,
It's
like belts and stuff like
back
that.
for the belt. He's like, a belt holds up your pants. It's a championship, or the title, or whatever you called it. It was like, yeah.
Miz was ace in this. I just think it was just a bit long-winded for a match between the Miz and Cody.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, didn't really do that much for Cody either. Let's be honest. It's like obviously he was going to beat the Miz.
I think
obviously.
I don't want to be super negative, but Cody on the mic doesn't do much for Cody as a babyface.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're going for babyface, which I'm still against. I was against in AEW, and I'm against it here. He should be a heel.
Yeah, I mean, the promo we did last week about obviously being a son of a plumber and all that kind of stuff. It's tried and true. It's going to get a babyface reaction, and yeah, I always eat it up because it's real and it's his story at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something.
Plumber, was he? His dad was the son of a plumber.
Oh yeah, sorry, the son of a plumber.
He's the son of a preacher man.
I love it. But yeah,
no, what is he? Does he call himself the grandson of a plumber? Is that how he's doing it?
It does, yeah.
He said it a couple of times. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, again, the Miz was excellent. He was like, "Well, it wasn't for your dad, you'd probably just be a plumber." And it was like,
that's boss, I like it.
But yeah, obviously, the kind of thing that comes off the back of this now is that Seth Rollins isn't done with him. And we're now going into the storyline of, he only beat him because he was unprepared for him. Now he's gonna have a game plan and all that kind of stuff. So,
I love it. It's just classic WWE. We make rematches. Like, yeah, we Vince.
I mean, literally everything that's been announced for Backlash so far is just the WrestleMania matches again. Now, I know it's called Backlash.
He'll be back into the formula, isn't he? No,
Yeah.
We're going to fight Seth 7 times, okay? That's how we do this.
So yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, it's going to be a good match, let's be honest. But yeah, I'm not too sure where they're going with it. I don't know why. Like, they've had him arrive, so why not put him into either a proper feud or something? Because this just seems a bit like...
I'm intrigued by the respect Seth appears to be showing him.
I mean, you've got to imagine that won't be the case for long.
No, he's planning something. I don't trust that guy.
Yeah, we'll see. So that was the first one. Cody being Cody.
Yeah. So, Damian Priest. I'll be honest. I was all for this faction, I was. But I have no idea what's going on this week. He apparently has powers now.
Is he just trying to be the Undertaker, basically?
Well, it felt very Undertaker-esque. He does like an Undertaker-type pose. The lights go purple. Okay, nice colour. Why not? And the match is over. I think we had a little ad break in there. Lovely timed ad break. I love ad breaks.
I mean,
sorry, let's be American about it.
I love how WWE typically ends a lot of their matches via no finish whatsoever. This is a whole new level of no finish. Let's just end the match mid-match, and when we come back from TV, we just won't explain why the match isn't going on anymore, and we'll just have an interview segment instead.
You can go from dark and intimidating to Scooby-Doo awful quick, guys, and you have to watch out with this. You really do.
Oh, that's perfect. We'll get Pete Dunne to join. He's already been Scrappy Doo as it is, isn't he? So
Old man Edge. It was him all along.
Would have got away with it too. Wasn't for you, pesky kids.
But I say it's still got legs. Got a lot of potential. I feel like they're missing more than they're hitting with the things they're trying to do with Damian. I wasn't keen on the Damian side, and this whole mystical stuff. It just doesn't work the same. Stick with your Archer thing or whatever you were doing.
Yeah, I don't get why they would allude to him having powers or something. Like, he legit just joined Edge's stable. Edge hasn't got powers, so is Edge now just
Edge can make black goo appear because we can't use red because that looks like blood and PG. But he can make black goo appear. That's kind of a power. It's kind of a shit power, but it's a power.
Worst superhero ever.
I mean, let's be honest. If they said, "Look, join Edge's faction and you'll get superpowers," I think we'd all join.
Yeah.
So it's a good way of luring people in.
Yes. Well, I mean, they're definitely trying to make Damian edgier.
Hey.
Yeah. So, in terms of making people edgier, I don't really know. So Ezekiel. I'm really torn on this one. I don't know how to feel about it, because on the one hand, Kevin Owens is fantastic. He is a comic genius, and he's really, really funny in everything that he does, and he always makes the best of what he's given. I want to see his. I can't remember what he said. I want to see his government documents and stuff like that. I want to see his passport. I want to see his driving license. I want to see his library card. And Adam Pearce, it's just like, they're confidential. He just calls them on his bullshit. Even his library card. I don't know. Just made me laugh.
This to me just reminds you that Kevin Owens, he can work with whatever the fuck you give him. Let's be honest.
He's fantastic.
He definitely took his cues from Jericho with shit like this. He's making this work so well. I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving it. I love the fact that everyone around Kevin Owens is like, no, that's Ezekiel. That's his younger brother.
Yeah.
Like it's just matter of fact, and why would you even question it? I don't know. It's so stupid, but like Tommaso was like, just like, yeah, that's Ezekiel. Like he's always known Ezekiel. I just love the fact that everyone's kind of being like that. It just makes Kevin Owens even crazier, and it's just boss. Kevin Owens' reactions. I'm here for everything about the Kevin Owens side of this. I really am.
Definitely. Like it's I don't know. It feels like a hell of a fall from grace for him. Like literally, he's main eventing with Stone Cold at WrestleMania, and then now he's here doing a weird skit.
I can't decide though if it's a fall from grace or they're going, we'll use Kev to get Ezekiel over.
Yeah, I mean maybe. And
let's face it, it wasn't going to work. And if anything makes it work, it's going to be Kevin Owens.
Yeah, and it's I've said many a times before on the show, I'm a massive fan of Elias. So obviously his brother, has got to be just as likable, right? But
by the way, also a massive fan of the totally blatantly fake Photoshop that's going on Twitter. Ezekiel put up, which just tickles me. Like, I love how obvious they left it as well. Plus.
Exactly.
I love how he left the original picture on his own timeline. It's just everything about it's just fucking brilliant.
I know, it is quality. But yeah, so I don't know what the end game is with it. I suppose that's a good thing because it's not super predictable, but I can't see it ending well, unfortunately. But I will eat a big slice of humble pie if I'm proven wrong, and I'd love it if it ends well, because as I say, I'm a big fan of Ezekiel and as Kevin Owens. So.
I mean, as with many storytelling devices in WWE, Carl, it'll kind of rise and fall on what I imagine will end in a match of some sort, and I still don't know if Elias/Ezekiel can wrestle.
So
it'll be interesting to see if he can go in the ring, because he's going to need to put on a good match ultimately with Kevin Owens, isn't he? So that's what I'm worried about, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the saving grace is we already know that anyone can have a good match with Kevin Owens, so to your point, maybe that's why they've done the pairing.
Bump for me, Kev.
Exactly. So yeah.
There you go. Well, Carl. As I almost predicted it. Not predicted. Predicted sounds like just like I saw this coming and no one did. Well, not necessarily true. I think we all saw this coming, Carl. Bobby Lashley. Right? Said it before. Said it last week. I'm saying it again now. We had Bobby, we had the VIP lounge, and we had further evidence that Bobby cannot talk. Now, I did mention last week that MVP would do a lot of good for Omos.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that Omos probably needs him more than Bobby does. Okay, I'll admit I was slightly wrong on that one. Right? But I don't know. This is just further proof Bobby is not much of a talker. Like, MVP is doing exactly the job he should be doing with Omos, right? And he just gets to look menacing, which is pretty much all he can do. He can't wrestle, he can't talk, so that's Omos, that's his job. But like I think I sent you this the other day. We had this statistic that Cody is like the second biggest babyface on Raw behind Bobby Lashley already, and I'm like, I said to you like at the time, and I still stand by it. I didn't realize either of them were babyfaces.
No.
They're the most unlikable baby faces, and they're apparently the top two, right? And I just don't get where they're going with Bobby. This is like, to me, this is, I don't want to sound like doing merchant here, but this is the kiss of death for Bobby. He's not got MVP anymore. He's nowhere near the title scene. He can't talk, and he's not going to get by just on the fact that he is a very good wrestler. Like, WWE are going to just annihilate him on the mid card now. Unfortunately, I don't want to be that guy, but
yeah, he's very he's just very plain. He's very boring. So to put him as a babyface, it just doesn't work for him, because he hasn't got anything about him himself. He doesn't have any charisma or anything like that. So all he can play is the guy who's fucking ripped as fuck and is a menace where you go, damn, he's gonna hurt someone. That doesn't really work the same way when you're a babyface. You know what I mean? Like, to be fair, Brock is a kind of similar kind of comparison in the sense he's an absolute monster as well, but he's been able to kind of find his charisma in his most recent run where he's been entertaining.
I still, funnily enough though, I think as much as he's been entertaining and he has definitely found his charisma, I still don't even think he classes as a babyface. Like, it's kind of a tweener really, isn't he? Like, you could totally understand people not liking him, but some people absolutely love him for his antics.
Yeah.
Like, almost stone coldish, I dare say. Like, he's not full. I don't think he's gone full face yet, Brock, and I don't know if he ever will. Just in the nature of the way, like you say, that he comes out, destroys people, kind of thing, isn't really a babyface guy. But yeah, like you say, the charisma's. I think it's definitely making him a tweener. Not to sound like trying to throw like we know wrestling. Here's some inside terms: tweener, mark, and face. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Fun and educational on this show, but yeah, I agree with you. I can't see this going particularly well for Bobby, unfortunately. In terms, the long run, the only way it could maybe be redeemed somehow, which I think it's already too far too gone. Bring the hair business back. Could save him.
At this point, I'm like, how many times are you gonna bring the hair business back?
That's what I mean. Yeah, it feels like it's already run its course. But if we had that now without MVP, it would give Bobby something. But at the minute, there's just nothing about him. It's just like, oh, MVP, you went for the bigger, badder man. Grr. That's it.
He's literally like, you can tell what MVP is looking for. I want big and tall.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But
it's going to be hard to replace Omos now. I need an 8 foot tall guy. That's what I need.
Indeed. Just scouting the NBA. So, next one to talk about. Keen to get your thoughts on this, to be honest. I actually really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people hated it, but essentially Bianca Belair comes out and she's like, "Yeah, I'm the champion. Then I've not got a shiner this week. Woohoo!" And then Sonya,
solid promo from it. Yeah, I'm the champion. Then.
That's it. I'm the champist. And then Sonya comes down and it's like, well, actually, we've got a match booked for you. All you got to do is sign a contract. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'll sign it. I don't even care who that is, because I am Bianca Belair. And then Sonya does this big rigmarole of like, okay, and here's your opponent. And there's a big drum roll, and it's Sonya. And it was like, what? I actually really enjoyed it. I think it was top heel work. I think Sonya...
You're a fucking mark.
Shut your face, you tweener.
Sat there in gorilla, just loving it all.
I love it. We just continue to add the most ridiculous terms as we can.
I realised just how many little wrestling terms I don't know because I'm trying to think of others just to amuse me.
I know. I was doing the same. I was like, you could say blade job. That sounds wrong when you use it out of context. I'll give you a blade job.
But you know what? You'll have to call an audible on it.
Yeah, have to.
Hey,
I get it. But yeah, so I'm actually a big fan of this. I hope it leads to Sonya being done with this whole fucking management or whatever for some reason thing, and just have her being back on the ring as a competitor now. I think that would do the world of good for her, and I think she started to build herself up as a good character before she did this thing. So I'd like to see her go back to that and actually get more ring work. I
think that's going to be the thing for me. I don't like it's. If it was a constant, I'm an authority figure and I'm going to abuse my power, we've had that. We've had that a lot before. So I think if this is just a mechanism to get her back as an in-ring competitor, then sounds. I'm totally fine with that.
Indeed.
And yeah, good heel moves. But what I don't want is to be a modern day Vince McMahon who inserts herself into matches and title pictures unnecessarily because she can. Like, it's like, no, we've had all that. We had that in the Attitude Era. It's not good. Like, if she starts making people kiss her ass, it's just not great, is it?
I mean, more of an enjoyable watch than the Vince McMahon kiss my ass club, but still, yeah. Like, I hope this is it. I kind of hope this is it for Adam Pearce as well. I just don't want any authority figures anymore. I think we always say this, but
Adam had not. He's just sat there eating his sandwich like, what did I do?
Oh, come on. So I enjoyed this. I thought it was good.
Cool. There's one thing that I don't think you'll enjoy, Carl.
Yeah,
maybe you will. I don't know. So they appear to be heading towards a unification of the tag titles. Now, they haven't out and out said this, Carl, but obviously this week's match on Raw would indicate that they're heading towards some sort of unification, with us having the Usos involved. I think it was actually the main event of Raw as well, wasn't it? So it's giving it some status, and tag titles getting that much attention worries me, Carl. That's definitely a unification going. But what do you think of the prospect of them being unified like their older cousin?
Unify the shows, unify the rosters. Just do it. Just make it happen. You've hardly got anyone there anyway. There's no top babyface and top heels on either of your shows anymore. Just combine it. Just have one roster that has 2 shows between them. It'll be amazing. If you did that, I'd be on board because it would make sense doing it, but keeping the rosters separate and having traveling champions. Nah.
I've been keen on having. I don't think they've had enough star power on the main rosters to have multiple championships, multiple tag championships, etc. And we've said that for a while, that they should just have one champion across both shows, and the same for the tags. And I'm cool with the idea. The negative I've got on this is that, by all accounts, because the network want their own titles, it doesn't appear like it just feels like a story. I don't think it's actually going to happen. Same way that Roman's ultimately, there's going to be a champion for Raw because I believe the USA Network want that. So I don't know. I feel like they're teasing us with something that is a really good idea, but we know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like we need to stop giving the execs a say in this. At the end of the day, that they're paying for the IP. Just let the creative team book the show. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it'd be the right thing for WWE. I think it's long overdue. Just if you think about it, when wrestling's been at its peak in all the different fucking peaks and troughs over history, it's always been with a unified roster. Just do it. Now it's like, well, we've got 2 shows to fill, so we need to just give loads of time to shit talent. And I'm not trying to come at anyone, but you know what I mean. Imagine how much more enjoyable both shows would be if they had the full roster to pick from.
Exactly. Well, you get a lot less rematches for starters.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that's my thoughts on it anyway. But they won't do it. They won't do it. Speaking of people who can't talk, by the way, I'll see your Bobby. I'll raise your Ronda Rousey. That's what I'll do. She is an awful promo, man. She is bad, like really, really bad. It comes out. The only I don't know what happened to the original Ronda from her first run. She's gone. She's left the building. There's nothing behind her eyes. It's ridiculous. She basically comes out and it's just like, yeah, well, I'm Ronda Rousey and I want a rematch. And I want it to be an I Quit match. Okay. So basically what you're saying is you want to make her tap out and you want to break her arm. So just call it a submission match then? Why is it an I Quit match? What are you going to do that's going to, make her say I quit other than do a submission, right? So
this is what they want. They want that annoying thing where, like, she's doing everything and she's in pain, but she just won't say it because she's Ric Flair's daughter. God damn it. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny in this day and age where people constantly quit Twitter that we're even expecting an I Quit match not to be easily won.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. You hurt my feelings. I quit. So yeah, I wasn't digging it for Mania. Not digging it for Mania Backlash. I just don't give 2 ounces of a fuck.
Oh my God, a rematch! Yay!
Exactly.
Can't get enough. Here's something that's mixing things up a bit, Carl. This week we saw Happy Corbin attempting to turn on Madcap Moss. And quite refreshingly for me, anyway, Madcap got the better of him. Now, if there's one man who clearly needs to have a bit of a change-up, it's Madcap Moss. I'm not even that bothered by Happy Corbin. Like, a lot of people want the Lone Wolf again. It's not happening. But Madcap Moss was in desperate need of an actual gimmick rather than just being Corbin's mate. And I'm intrigued. I like the way they did this. Like, I don't know. It probably has happened many a time before. I don't want you to come at me like, oh, it's not that uncommon. But I like the fact that it wasn't just like, he turned on him out of nowhere and it worked. I like it. And
that's been done lots of times before.
Whatever.
Okay.
But no, I will even happily watch a feud between these two and see where it goes. To be fair, I'm enjoying it so far. So good.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that makes sense, and not just like, well, let's just do a Drew McIntyre thing again. I think it could be really, really good for Moss. I think it could potentially, get him over, because he's not been getting over as Madcap, but he will need some kind of substantial gimmick change off the back of it. He can't just be still him coming out in his braces, but now a good guy, because people are just like, the fuck. So, yeah, we need to see a slightly different Moss. That's what they'll do. They'll just call him Moss, and he'll wear green.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's what Vince likes to do. But Carl, if they have a match, right, and it goes to a no contest because of an interruption from McIntyre, does that mean they drew?
Hey.
Shit jokes all day.
Love it. Fucking love it. So, Anthony, speaking of gimmick changes, what we also saw this week was the
gimmick changes. What are you on about?
You did. You were saying you need to get shut up. Stop ruining my segues. So, the sassy Southern Belle herself, Lacey Evans, had a vignette this week, and gone is the sassy Southern Belle. They are very much leaning heavily into her military background, the fact that she's a mother and a family girl, basically. And yeah, so they've gone full baby face with her, which is interesting.
Honestly, I'm not rinsing the gimmick. I thought the promo was really good. I'm excited to see her back. The new look is pretty awesome. I just love the way it's like. Do you ever see that in South Park when Kanye's trying to figure out the fish sticks joke?
Yeah.
And he's writing things. And he's like, "I am a genius." It just kind of I feel like that's how they came about a gimmick. It's like, well, we've done the Southern thing. So what else is she? She's a mom. She's in the military. And it's like, I feel like there's ticking off like items of what do we know about Lacey? Well, she was in the military. She was a mom. She's Southern. So they've gone, well, we'll try the Southern thing, right? And see how it goes. And now we're going to the military thing. And that's all I'm going to say negative on it, because I'm hopeful. It's looking good. I think it's nice to have a bit of a change up, and I don't know. I think we both agree she's always been like a potential like world champion, world class talent, and obviously, she's gone away to have a baby and such. So fair enough. She needed some time out, but I'm hopeful that this sort of will re-energize the crowd and everything, and sort of put her back on that top tier position, or the potential for top tier position.
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, this, I said it last year, the year before, I can't remember. The match to make, the big money match that makes Lacey as a star is going to be Lacey versus Charlotte. Except the first time it sucked. So if they actually work on it and they give it the right build, I genuinely think that could be the match that makes Lacey. So.
And do you know what I love? How many times now where have we had people have some time off because of various reasons, injuries usually, and you go, this is the time, this is when they should drop the gimmick now and we can refresh everything. Like Drew with the stupid sword and stuff. And part of me always worried that they were going to come right back to, it's Rick's baby. And I'm like, oh no. Right. And I'm so glad that they've dropped that shit, that noise, that nonsense.
Yeah, I think if the whole Dark Side of the Ring controversy didn't happen with Rick, then that's exactly what was happening. She was going to come back in the robe and everything.
Oh yeah, do you know what tickled me the most about like the whole Rick storyline was people coming at us when we congratulated her for being pregnant, going, it's a storyline. It's like, you're a dumb fuck.
Yeah,
it's not hard to find out that she's actually pregnant, dude.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I go back to that the old dude who was like, It's still real to me, damn it. But a lot of people kind of, they've kind of gone the opposite way now, where nothing can be real. It's all storyline.
I can't believe we had more than one getting really uppity about it. I think it was on TikTok when it's like calm down, maybe look into it before. Like, I'm all for like, call us if we're totally wrong or stupid. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. But maybe look into it before you actually call us on it. Because
it'd help, wouldn't it? It would help.
When she actually went off on maternity leave, made it look pretty fucking real, didn't it?
Yeah. Nah, it's definitely not real. Looks like she's having the baby. Nah, it's just special effects.
Nah, it's not Rick's baby. It's like, no one said it was.
Comes out. Woo! Oh, actually.
Well, what do you know?
So
takes first steps. That's when you know.
To be fair, I'm kind of gutted they didn't lean back into this. I'd love to see a baby in a robe just wooing its way down.
With WWE's track record of CGI, I'm not looking forward to any sort of attempt to have a. They would definitely try and animate a baby doing a Cres walk.
This is true. So Lacey is back, new gimmick, and it's not being, Ric Flair's.
Like camouflage, she's channeling
mama.
John Cena because you can't see her.
Whee.
I know, shit jokes for days.
So speaking of people you can't see in the main event, Anthony, I think you got the last one.
Me? Yeah, this was a bit of a surprise. There's not a lot to be said, yet. But I'm intrigued to know what you think, Carl. So that's why it's a topic this week, and that is Shinsuke Nakamura apparently being a new challenger for Roman Reigns.
This came right the way out of fucking nowhere, didn't it?
The man they forgot had the IC title for a considerable amount of time. That guy.
Yeah.
Who's got the IC title now?
Ricochet, innit?
Ricochet. What is with that title?
Just don't. Just don't.
I'm sorry. I know it's your favourite title.
Yeah. Stings.
I can't even remember what it looks like, and I don't want to.
Shit, and that's why.
I need Cody to fix that again, like he did last time.
You know what? I would love the guy if he did that again. Just bring it back. Bring it back, Cody.
That's how you do a babyface run, Cody.
Exactly. Yeah,
fix the titles.
It
Win
feels like
Eagles for everyone. Sorry.
No, just say I think this. It feels like it's just come out of nowhere, hasn't it? It's like, well, Rick Boogs' knee has exploded, so that leaves Shinsuke with nothing. I know. Let's put him up against Roman for no reason.
Boogs' knee is still at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't get it, to be fair, and I'm not looking forward to it as a feud because I'm not that big of a Shinsuke fan. Come at me, bro.
Like, really? Like, Shinsuke is obviously a super talented guy, but when you go, in terms of what's been happening lately on TV, how do you even say that was even close to a contender for the title? I just maybe let's have some sort of tournament or even a battle royal to decide this, and then you can go, okay, it was random, but it was from the battle royal these things happen. Just randomly go, well, it's Shinsuke. What about Shinsuke? He's not doing anything.
Yeah. I feel like, for me, Shinsuke's not been over since NXT. Like, his theme music is more over than him at this point, and that's when you know.
They're banging over track.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, it's quality. But yeah, this literally screams like we've got no plans for Roman at the minute until Cody. We're not going to put Cody up against him just yet. Who can we find? There you go. So yeah,
Shinsuke stood there like, okay, get in there, kid.
So yeah, let's move over to AEW then, shall we? Let's get your thoughts on some of these things. So Hangman, Adam Page, and Adam Cole still feuding, but positively, looks like we're going to get an end to that feud next week. Hangman comes down. They're in Dallas. It's going to be a Texas Deathmatch, baby.
Yeah.
I like how Hangman's almost like making this his signature match now. It's like, yeah, I'm a cowboy. I do Texas Deathmatches. Yeah.
I'm a cowboy.
So I will be happy.
Use that song.
I know, that'd be cool.
Bon Jovi. We can do licensed music in AEW. Let's do this.
Exactly. It'd be better than fucking Wild Thing.
Do you know what? I think I've just quietly angered a load of people who love Hangman's theme music. There's so many people love that track.
It's a pretty banger, to be fair. But yeah, so I'm glad that the feud's going to come to an end. I think no offense to either of them, but yeah, it just wasn't massively sold on it the first time. Even less sold on it now. The whole like I'm gonna steal the titles. Like cool. Like the match will be fine. Of course it will. I don't think Adam Cole's winning it. So it's is it going to be Punk versus Hangman Page next? Is that where they're going? Double or nothing maybe. I'm not sure. But the feud is ending. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. So Carl, Samoa Joe. Samoa fucking Joe. He's here. He fucking demolished Max Caster.
He did.
But we get Jay Lethal cut on a promo. Apparently we've got a present for Joe next week. So, intrigue.
Former Impact wrestler in a box, probably.
Well, who knows?
See an AEW at its finest. I kid, of course.
Don't do it. Don't feed them. Don't feed the trolls. But what do you make of Samoa Joe's? I was going to say triumphant return. That's not right. His debut on AEW.
I mean, he's Joe, isn't he? He's Joe. Come on, it's Joe.
Well, for a man who's been plagued with injury and not been able to wrestle for such time, I think he looked on point here.
He looked good, didn't he? I just hope he can stay injury free. I'm not too sure where he's going to fit into the whole.
Injury free since 23.
Yeah, I'm not too sure where he's going to fit into the whole AEW landscape. I don't want to see him anywhere near the world title, like that's for sure.
I don't mind. I think obviously he's got like a level of drawing power. I would rather he just be a Ring of Honor guy on the rebranded Ring of Honor. To be honest, like occasionally on AEW, it's all togetherness because Tony owns it all. But I'd rather he be there to bolster what will be Ring of Honor going forward.
Yeah, that is a great shout. To be fair, I think obviously it'd be great to see him rock up on AEW every now and again because obviously he's cool, good guy. But yeah, to your point, I think Ring of Honor needs him more than AEW needs him. So that'd be the right call. But you talk about him demolishing Max Caster. Max Caster demolishes him on the microphone before the match. I love it. It's literally become a highlight of Dynamite for me. Whenever the Acclaimed are on, I fucking love it. He's the best. Everybody loves the Acclaimed, Anthony. Everybody. Scissory. Nope. Okay.
I would have, but that is stupid.
So Max Caster, absolute legend. So I want to throw that in there as well. Speaking of legends, MJF. We still haven't got it yet, but it's definitely building. So we have Sean Spears taking on Captain Sean Dean. As we know, Dean holds a victory over MJF because CM Punk basically cost MJF the match, which is brilliant. So Sean Spears had a chance to avenge MJF's loss. And Wardlow beats a bunch of security guards up, looking like an absolute monster, like he always does. I think he demolished about 20 of them backstage. Walks out, distracts Spears, and then Dean gets the win. So MJF is outraged and is looking to get a rematch with Dean tonight. So yeah, I think they're obviously going to wait for Double or Nothing, I think, which is like the end of May. So we've got like a month or so still to build it, but that's the match we're going to get, I think, is Wardlow MJF for Double or Nothing. So it's how can they keep it fresh and don't let it kind of die out by the time we get there, because obviously everybody is desperate to see Wardlow beat the shit out of MJF. So
I think it needs to be a beatdown as well.
Yeah, it needs to just be...
I want them to leave Spears in tears, you know?
I love it. Fucking love it. So yeah, we will see obviously how it all plays out, but I just hope that they haven't, waited too long, and maybe they should have struck while the iron was a bit hotter. But we'll see. We will see.
We will, Carl. We will. So my next one, I know we don't normally do this on the retooled This Week in Wrestling, but it's a quick shout because I think it needs mentioning, and that is FTR versus the Bucks, the Young Bucks, the Mega Bucks. What a fantastic bout of tag team wrestling. This is how you do tag team. This is tag team wrestling, Carl. Right here.
It is. Fucking is, Anthony. You're right.
And I just want to say, fucking boss these guys, aren't they?
It's mad really, because I remember when FTR first rocked up in the little pickup truck and we were like, holy shit, FTR there. And you've kind of just been meandering through the last few months. Like obviously they've had a fantastic match with the Bucks before, and they've had one or two other decent ones in there. But like this was awesome. This, as you said, this is tag team wrestling. Two of the best in the probably maybe the two best in the world today.
One for the Bucks, isn't it? Really?
Hey, yeah. Well, no, FTR won, so it was not one for the Bucks. But yeah, so thoroughly enjoyed it. And as you said, yeah, this is what tag team wrestling should be about. So WWE, take notes. If you're going to unify the belts, at least put on some decent tag team matches once in a while.
Like this.
But don't do stuff like this, which is the next segment. Sammy Guevara, Ty Conti, keen to get your thoughts. Who is this for? Like you mentioned a minute ago, like about WWE, you were like, didn't realize that these were like, the face. Well, this is the same here because you've got Dan Lambert, who is just absolutely tearing them a fucking new one on the microphone. So he's getting himself over by chewing them out, and the fans don't really seem to like Sammy and Tay that much.
No, there seems to be a lot of negativity.
Yay, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if, again, this might be a bit of a tone deaf thing where AEW think that Sammy and Tay are the faces. They're not. Like, the internet fucking hates them.
Well,
so,
I read somewhere,
into it, man.
I don't know how much truth there was saying, and I didn't really pick up on it either, so obviously it wasn't as bad as when WWE do it, but a lot of people seem to think that they kind of piped in cheers or kind of suppressed the boos for Sammy and Tay.
I hope they haven't started doing that. I hate that in WWE. I hate it if AEW started that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you believe what we want you to believe. It's like,
yeah, it's the worst thing about wrestling. Like, let the fans be the fans. If they want to boo someone, then book a better segment at the end of the day. But so I don't know. I'm not reporting it as fact. I've just seen a lot of people kind of speculate that. But
probably be
I
the
didn't
bots.
pick up on it.
Be the bots.
We're gonna go on to that. Yeah, it's a weird one. They are both very just unlikable, unfortunately, in the roles that they're in, which is mad because before this thing happened, they were both very firmly fan favourites. So yeah, I don't know whether it's just the two of them together.
So I mean, you gotta wonder though, like when they were doing things like, look, we had sex with the belt on or whatever. You go, was that meant to be a face move? Were you meant to get the crowd behind you at that point?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they were hoping to achieve with that, but
yeah. So I think certain ways they booked it makes you think, are they meant to be, like, are we meant to dislike them? It feels like we're meant to dislike them. And obviously some people, the internet kind of hates them anyway because they're convinced that, like, Tay Conti's a home record and stuff like that, which is, not something I'll get into because, like, it's heavily debatable and we're never going to know, and it's none of our business. But a lot of people on the internet decided that, so they just hate the pair of them anyway.
This is true.
Again, in the world of wrestling, just lean into it.
Well, exactly.
Make them the Edge and Lita of AEW.
The problem they've done, though, is they put them in a feud with American Top Team, who are just never going to be likable either. So no one's coming out of this as a face, whichever way you do it. So they need to sort of... Because, I mean...
heels.
Like, the thing I don't get about it is, like, what they were alluding to before Sammy and Tay took over is they were going to do Cody and Brandy, I think, versus, like, I don't know, Scorpio Sky and Paige Van Zandt. I think that was the way they were going. But obviously, it now would make sense still. Like, I would actually quite like that as a first match for Paige if it was against Ty. They both got, mixed martial arts backgrounds and stuff. But it's like, well, where is Paige? She's gone and, she's meant to be training with Gangrel somewhere. We haven't seen her properly in a bit. So it's like, is she even going to be ready to have a match?
He's making her drink blood and stuff. It's like, you can only come out at night and you don't like garlic anymore.
Yeah, interesting.
Vampire references.
Got it. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. But I think they've unfortunately just found themselves in, a bad situation. When Cody got off, they were like, well, we'll put Sammy and Tay in the mix, and it just hasn't really paid off. So I think we'll have to ride the wave and then see what happens for these as an on-screen couple. But they should have just, in my opinion, maybe just not leaned into it. Like, we get it, they're together, let them do their own thing in the personal life, don't show it on screen all the time, I guess. But never mind.
That's it. Like, yeah, it's like TMI, really, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Anyway, Carl, we are a YUTA. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
challenge this week for him was to impress none other than Jon Moxley, right? And you know what? It was a fucking brutal match. It's a hell of a match indeed. And I'd say he's earned the respect. Well, they made it quite clear he's earned the respect. But what I want to know from you, Carl, was what did you think of what clearly is the new edition of the Blackpool Combat Club?
I mean, a lot of people have said this already, but they've kind of leaned into a star was made on that night. It was a phenomenal performance from YUTA, I think, going up against the likes of Moxley and putting in the shift that he did against him and hanging in there and stuff like that, I think is very commendable. And this is what the faction's meant to be for, I suppose, isn't it? Is to get these, wily veterans and start to find some young, talent and like mold them in their essence.
That's been the weird thing about this match. It's like a brutal initiation, They're not doing it because they hate him. There's no bad blood there in a way. There's a lot of blood there, but no bad blood. And it's like you say, he's earning the spot with this, and it's just so fucked up, but intriguing as fuck as well,
Yeah,
a lot of people. What do you make of this comparison? I've seen a few of these now on interwebs, where they're saying about like the Blackpool Combat Club is like this era's NWO.
Nah,
I don't think that either, personally, because it's not got the same vibes. It's not the Outsiders or anything like that. But in terms of like a badass faction that everyone wants to be in, and we're probably going to get a ton of T-shirts for, probably, but not quite the same vibes. But I'm intrigued because they seem to be getting that comparison, and I don't know if that's going to keep going. Don't know if we're going to get a BCC shirt the same way we had an NWO shirt. But
see, it doesn't quite have the same ring, does it? BCC kind of makes you think of I don't know,
the British Broadcasting Channel. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Big Caucasian, but yeah. So, but anywho, let's keep it PG, shall we? But
we could go very British with it, very in keeping for Regal. Yeah, bloody cheeky. I'll leave you with the last word, mate.
I like it. And on that, we'll see you next Tuesday. Okay. So all in all, I thought it was a fantastic match, and yeah, we've got the first addition to the BCC, so let's see where it goes from here now. Are they going to continue to...
Like, while we're making the NWO comparison, how stacked are they going to make the BCC overall?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hope it's not...
Hopefully they learn from the NWO and they don't just keep adding people into it until it just ends up being ridiculous.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're not going out seeking people to add to the group. It's more just like, if you want to step up, you think you can be a part of this, go and prove it. And
if you want to step up.
Or you get knocked down, So yeah, I quite like that, but who's going to step up next? But yeah, to your point, I don't think it needs to get like loads of people. But we'll see. See what they do.
We'll see what we see.
Indeed. And that was another fun-filled week on wrestling for the 8 of the K show. What else are we doing this week? So we've got all the latest news and rumours coming up shortly. Yeah, and of course, we are going to do Whiskey and Wrestling Volume 5, where we still talk wrestling, but we go off script and we just chat just about anything and everything, really, but mostly wrestling. While also having a little beveragino of Whiskerton as well. So join us for that fun. Tell you what, that would be a good Netflix show. Fuck Bridgerton. I want to do Whiskerton.
Nice.
Make it a thing. As always,
I think we get the same viewership, but I'm definitely up for
it. As always, if you want some cool merch, check us out on Pro Wrestling Tees, and obviously check us out on all the socials and all whatnot. And obviously, the biggest convention in Europe for wrestling is coming up. Next week. And here is Jay from Monopoly Events to tell you all about For the Love of Wrestling 2.
For Love of Wrestling, Europe's largest wrestling convention, returns to the Exhibition Centre in Liverpool on the 23rd and 24th of April. Guests this year include Diva of the Decade, Trish Stratus, the Wrestling God, JBL, the Dudley Boys, Torrie Wilson, and just announced MJF from AEW. We will also be doing a Wyatt family reunion as we welcome Eric Rowan, the man formerly known as Braun Strowman, and indeed the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Also just announced is the man, the legend, the icon, Sting. And of course, your Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. This and many, many, many more guests, as well as prop builds, Q&As with all of the wrestlers, and some of the biggest wrestling collections in the world on display from our exhibitors. Get your tickets at forloveofwrestling.co.uk or search Facebook or Twitter for the Love of Wrestling. For the Love of Wrestling, Europe's biggest wrestling convention, returns to Liverpool the 23rd and the 24th of April.
Hey guys, it's Georgia Smith here, and you've heard me on A to the K. These guys are awesome. Check it out. A to the K.
A to the K. A to the K.